What is up, everybody? Welcome, thank you for tuning in. My name is Spider-Man, and today I'm going to be showing you guys hopefully how to not drop bottles, mostly. No, in reality, I'm going to be making some cold brew coffee. One way, I have some cold brew coffee I've already made here. This is a device that I've already used on Twitch once before. It basically makes 1 cup of cold brew in about 15 minutes instead of, like 18 to 24 hours. What is up, guys? Welcome to Binging with Spidey. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to make web fluid. I'm kidding, you can't do that on Twitch, it violates TOS. It was me the whole time! If your bartender isn't dressed like this, then you probably want to leave the bar. You probably just want to go somewhere else entirely. So the first thing I gotta do, I gotta get all the water and then grind the coffee for this machine right here. And this is the Pookin cold brew coffee machine. It uses pneumatics to wash water basically up and down through the grinds over and over and over again to expedite the process of making cold brew coffee. Traditionally, if you want to make cold brew coffee, which is what's in here, you would need to sit coarsely ground coffee in about room temperature water for like 18 to 24 hours, depending on what kind of coffee you have and what you want it to taste like by the time you're done. So that's what's in here. That's regular cold brew coffee. That's going to be our test group, or our control group. So the first thing we need to do is take out this lower inner chamber, because this is where the coffee grounds are going to be. You don't need for them to be super finely ground, but luckily the mesh strainer right here is pretty fine, so you shouldn't have any of those solid coffee particles, the really chunky ones, leaking into your solution by the time you're done. Last time I did this, I used too much coffee, which slowed down the water passing through, so I haven't used as much this time, but I am going to fill this up with 3 cups of water. This is not for the measure of water that you're putting in here. So it says 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup. That's for making cups of cold brew. So if you want 1 cup of cold brew or 2 cups of cold brew, that's how high you fill this up. That's why 1 cup is like all the way up here, and then it's like 2 cups, 3 cups. Set this guy in here. It shouldn't immediately like look like it's turning into coffee. Cool. Make sure that the seal on the top is there. So we're running this for 45 minutes to make 3 cups of coffee, and you can already tell, basically what this does is I believe it pulls air here to wash the water level up, and then you'll see it once it gets to the top, it should push it back down out the bottom here. You can see right now some of that dirt that the coffee is being washed back to the bottom. So it's going to keep doing that back and forth and back and forth and back and forth for 45 minutes until we have ideally 3 cups of cold brew coffee. In the meantime, I'm just going to make myself a regular cup of cold brew coffee. Well, I'm going to make it the way I like it. I don't know if I can open a bottle of... Hey, there we go. All right, liquor 43. Of course, I have matching red and black barware, thanks to bar chemistry. I'm just gonna do a ½ ounce of liquor 43. Oh hey, there's a deer right outside. Hazelnut, vanilla, and then the liquor 43, which is basically a hazelnut French vanilla kind of liqueur anyway. Alright, let's check back in on the cold brew that we were making with that machine. The lightly brewed coffee here, the stuff that's first being pushed and pulled, is going to slowly make its way up here, and it should become homogeneous by the time this is done brewing. This is making coffee. It was kind of hard to see before, and then eventually we'll have all 3 cups, and it's been 10 minutes in, and it's already made that much. If I only did 1 cup of coffee, I could do this in 15 minutes. You don't want to use beans that are either too green or too fresh. They need to be almost a little bit stale, in my opinion. I don't want you to feel like you have to use like fresh, unopened coffee that like you're gonna grind right on the spot. If you want to do that, you're absolutely more than welcome to. It's probably still gonna taste phenomenal. You're definitely more than welcome to just grind a bunch of coffee ahead of time, as long as you know you're gonna go through the whole thing. Loki looks different here. Yeah, it's like that part of, I think it's Thor Ragnarok, where Loki is being carried down the hallway, and he briefly transforms into like Captain America, but it's Tom Hiddleston in Captain America's like uniform.
I can feel a righteousness surging. Hey, you want to have a rousing discussion about truth, honor, patriotism? God bless America.
That's what this feels like. I'm surprised that suit isn't hindering your ability to hold onto the bottle. Oh, it is. It's definitely very slippery. I'm just trying to be a little bit more methodical of like how exactly I catch the bottle and how I throw it. That's why I panicked when I threw it over my shoulder blind, because when I caught it, I only caught it because I could feel the tip of it here, and I caught it like this. That's why I was like, whoa, whoop, and then I threw that to reset it and get it back into my grip. This is 20 minutes in. You can tell it's really, really concentrated down here. But the water level is actually still all the way up here. So I feel like once I take this out, when it's done, the action of pulling this out is what's going to cause all of that to mix together and become homogeneous, hopefully. Do the palms of your hands ever hurt after a night of intense flair? I should preface this by saying I am not a flair bartender. Even when I did flair at work, I did like single movements. I don't do like whole routines of like putting a drink together where every movement is some kind of flip and spin and toss and catch. If it's slow and I'm bored, I'll normally pick a bottle up, look at how much liquor is in it, and then that determines whether or not I can toss it and spin it and stuff, and what I can get away with if I feel like it. But normally I don't do all that. I'll pull it up, I'll check and see what's in there, and then I'll just do that. One movement. That's really the only piece of flair I did while I was at work. But I've definitely like broken bottles and cut my finger and stuff from practicing flair. Not from doing too much of it, just doing something I wasn't ready for, which was catching 2 bottles in one hand with what I call a figure 3 grip. All right, this thing is done, apparently. So it's weird because there's still liquid in the inner chamber, but I wonder if I can even, there we go. Disconnect this part. I learned this last time the hard way. You're supposed to disconnect this and then pour it over this way. Just be very careful. Use mats if you have them, and then you just... Cool. Yeah, it just tastes like really clean cold brew coffee. It does feel a little bit watery though. So I think I probably used too little, or not enough coffee in this particular brew. So you probably need something like 100 grams of coffee in there to brew 3 cups. Overall though, if you really like making cold brew coffee, especially if you just want to have like a cup to yourself every day and you're not making it for a bunch of other people, this is a really good device and it's relatively affordable. Oh man, I leave for 10 minutes and Spider-Man leaves. Yeah, I heard he was just here. It's weird. I must have just missed him.